Morning. Good morning. Welcome to Support Flow. Thank you for practicing yoga with us this morning. My name's Garza. Happy to have Anthony here this morning too. A few things before we get started. This is one of my favorite flows to teach, which is called Support Flow. You will want some support for this practice. So if you have any crystals or anything sacred that you want to have close to your yoga mat, it might be nice to have that. Feel free to pause this video. I also would love for you to have like 2 to 3 pillows or sofa cushions, as well as 1 or 2 blankets. That would be great. And yeah, if you have anything else that brings you comfort or support, feel free to pause this stream and come back and join us once you have the support that you need. So also, you probably hear some banging coming from our ends. We are living in an artist residency here at the Eastern Hopkins Homestead, and they're doing some historic restoration to the outside of the house, repairing the windows. So there's going to be some banging for this week, and I'm sorry about it. It's probably not very calming or relaxing. For you, it's not relaxing for us either, but it's part of our practice. So, the other thing about this morning is, as always, feel free to do your own thing. Feel free to modify something. Feel free to send us a message if you have a question about how to make something feel better for you. We're happy to answer questions. And nothing should feel like it's pinching, popping, or snapping. So if you feel yourself approaching the sensation, just pull back a little bit and shoot us a message, and we'll see if we can figure out a modification for you that is more supportive and more safe. So let's get started. Okay. To kick off our support flow this morning, it's loud. To kick off our support flow this morning, we're going to move into fish pose, which is to open up our lower back. So I'm actually going to move. I don't want to do that. So we'll take our cushion and put it just behind our lower back. And we'll simply roll back. So depending on how long your cushion is, it's okay if your head touches the floor. We want this to feel comfortable. We don't want it to feel too much like an intense stretch. So if it feels super intense or everything feels like it's pinching, maybe get a blanket instead, or a softer pillow, or a thinner pillow. All right, hips should be resting on the floor heavy. Our feet can plant with our knees bent. We can stretch the legs long and just flop the legs out. Or we could take a reclined butterfly and press the bottoms of the feet into each other. And if we do take this option, then we can take some blankets or cushions and place them under our knees. Our philosophy with the support flow, as we rest here and just fall into the breath, is that having support, having sensory inputs, bringing the earth closer to the body, gives our nervous system a message that we're safe and supported, and it allows our muscles to relax. It allows our muscles to sink in and go deeper into a pose in a healthy and safe way, And this support will, so not only will it help you with your flexibility and mobility, but it just helps our nervous system recalibrate, helps all of our organs function at their highest capacity, helps our digestion, our sex drive. So let's take some space to just slow down the breath now that we've been here for a moment. If there's any discomfort or if you notice your body doing any work, find some blankets, find some cushions, and stuff them in that part of your body so that we can minimize work and maximize relaxation, maximize rest. Slowing the breath down just a bit more. Long inhales, slow, controlled exhales. Long inhales, slow, controlled exhales. And I'll invite us to settle in and just check in with our intentions. What support do we have right now in our work, at home, during this crisis? What support are we leaning on? What support is holding us together? What support is making us feel safe? And also checking in to what support we have capacity to offer to others. How can we show up for someone else today? How can we show up for something or someone bigger than ourselves? And finally, how does it feel for our spine to have this support right now? And when you're ready, feel free to pause and stay here for as long as you like. When you're ready, we'll gently roll up, press into the floor, take your time. Okay, so next, I'll invite us into a Malasana squat with some nice support. This is probably the most strenuous pose we'll do today in the super restorative flow. I'm going to take a stack of 2 cushions. You might want more cushions, you might want fewer. But what we'll do is I'm going to stand right in front of those cushions and my feet are outwardly rotated. Something that's important when we're bending the knees is to make sure that the knees are bending in the direction that our feet are pointing. So if my feet are pointing this way, I want my knees to bend in that lane. Just like a lane on the street, we want our knees to stay in that lane. Otherwise, we could strain, tear, or rip the ligaments that are holding our knee together, which is not a fun injury. So let's always try to take care of our knees and make sure that they're bending in the direction, in alignment with our ankles and our feet. So once you found that alignment, your feet are rotated out, pointing out, we can bend the knees and lower down onto our cushions. This might be like, whoa, this is way too far for comfort, in which case you might want to add another blanket or cushion. It might be way too easy and you might not feel like it's stretching enough for you, and you might want to just lower this down a little bit. Once we get here, let's keep pressing the feet into the floor, especially the inner edges of the feet. That's going to engage the hamstrings and the quads and protect our legs and also help us build some safe, healthy mobility. I'm bringing the elbows to the insides of my thighs. I'm bringing my palms to touch so I can open my chest, roll my shoulders back. As I press the elbows out, I'm squeezing my thighs together as well for some isometric work. So my hips are squeezing, my thighs are squeezing together, my elbows are pressing out, opening the chest up. Feeling that length coming from the top back of the head, so maybe dropping the chin just a bit, and really feeling the length coming from the back of the head. That's where our spine is. So when we say stand tall, it's really like lifting from the top back of the head where the spine connects to the skull. And we're going to breathe here for a few more breaths. If this starts to feel too intense, feel free to add more cushion. If this starts to feel really comfortable and you want to try to go deeper, now's a good time to do that. I might not go totally to the next level, but I might replace that with the blanket. Keep opening the chest, shoulders back. Keep pressing the inner edges of the feet into the floor. Slow, deep breaths. Inhale to feel the hips expand. Exhale, deep and release. Seeing if we can make each breath just a bit longer, just a bit slower, just a bit more controlled. We're almost done. Hold on. Breathing just a bit more. And when you're ready, release, relax, pressing back into the floor, up to standing. Let's just bring the feet to parallel, bending the knees slightly, putting the hands in our back pockets, and pressing the hips forward to open up the hip flexors from all this sitting at desks and laptops that we're doing. Coming back to center. Let's roll the shoulders open a few times. Fingertips to shoulders, drawing big circles with the elbows. I know you can't see me super well, so I'll just come down to my knees. Feel free to stare, feel free to sit. And full circumductions leading with the pinkies. Okay. All right, so now finding a twist. Twists are so great for our digestion, and we're gonna sit into a pretty deep restorative twist. So we'll wanna find a pillow or a stack of books or a yoga block to create some height. And then we're gonna lean whatever our longest cushion is, we're gonna lean that on that prop so that we have this nice little ramp, a nice little incline for ourselves. So sitting back so that our lower back is touching that incline. Let's bend the knees and plant the feet, just like this. And then we can drop those knees to the right so that our right foot's stacked right on top of the left thigh. And we can roll down to our right side, resting on this incline. Making any adjustments that make sense to us. But this should feel like a twist in the spine, right? Our lower spine, our middle spine are twisted. Now we can rest with the right ear here. If you're looking for something a little bit deeper right now, or maybe after a few deep breaths, we can turn the head so that the left ear rests on the bolster to deepen this twist. And I'll invite us to try to find some balance here, letting the shoulders melt, letting the elbows and hands feel heavy. Slow, deep breaths here. Really breathing into the space around the spine. Maybe pulling that left leg back into the back space just a bit more. Feeling the whole torso expand on the inhale and release, deflate on the exhale. Of course, as always in the support flow, identifying any work that our body is doing and trying to minimize that by bringing more support to our body. Trying to go heavy here. Slow, deep breaths. And when you're ready, pressing up into the floor, lift the torso, walk the hands back to center, lift the knees back to center, adjust your seat, and let's let the knees fall to the left side. Now our right knee is right under the left foot, and we can walk that right leg back as much as we like, resting the left side on our cushion, This is a great place to be, and we can stay here for the duration of this pose. We can also turn this cervical spine and twist in the upper spine to the left, resting the right ear. Ooh, it's a little more intense. Be gentle. Once again, filling the space around the spine with breath, expanding, inflating with every inhale, and exhaling to feel heavy, to release into this cushion, into the earth. Long, slow, deep breaths. Trying to let our body feel heavy. And I'm pressing up into the floor, spiraling out of this twist. We'll just take a moment to lean back here onto this incline, just to balance out the spine. Now that we've had some days of sunshine, I've been making a little incline like this for myself outside to just rest under the sun, under the trees. It's so restorative for our body. We won't spend long here, just a few more breaths. And when you're ready, gently pressing up. Back to an upright seat. Okay. If you have a glass of water, now's a great time to take one. If you don't have a cup of water with you, I recommend pausing this video and going to take a quick water break. I'm trying to do this with my students too in virtual space because they're so not drinking water. So trying to have little water breaks as well where we all drink water together. All right, next up, I'll invite us to open into a wide straddle like so. Doesn't matter how wide it is. What I do want is for us to be able to flex our ankles and feet. This will just protect our Achilles and our hamstrings. And let's go ahead and alternate flexing point. Just warming up the backs of the legs. Our hands, I like to press my hands behind me so that my chest opens up a little bit, my pelvis tilts a little bit. My shoulders are down. And to deepen the hip opening here, when we flex, I'll invite us to lift the knee off the ground. So notice how my ankles aren't really sliding so much as when my knee lifts, we just change the positionality in my hip socket. So we're really opening up our hip sockets, which is great for all of the sitting and adjustments that we're having to make in this virtual work from home, stay at home order that we're in to keep our communities safe. Maybe try flexing both feet, lifting both knees, pointing both, pressing both legs down into the floor. Okay, very nice. So, another warm-up I'll have us do before we bring some support to the equation is just to create some rainbows from side to side. So just swaying from side to side, still reaching forward, reaching across the diagonals to the corners, opening up the side body. Take as much time as you want. We're just kind of going to sway and bring some mobility to our hips and to the spine here. It doesn't matter how far we fold, we're just warming up and opening up. And now we can grab some support. I'm going to make another incline for myself, but we have some options. So if your hips are tight or your hip sockets are narrow, it might be tough for you to lean forward very much, and that's okay. Because we can still open up our hips and just put a nice stack of cushions here to just lean the chin on. We want to feel the chest leaning forward as much as we can because we want our pelvic bowl to tilt forward. So our pelvic bowl is right here, and we want this bowl to tilt forward. So we don't want to just round the spine. We really want to feel the hips opening. We want to feel the pelvis tilting. So one thing that will help with that is making a big support for yourself here. If this doesn't feel like a release to you, then you can make another incline or whatever arrangement works for you. I'm going to start a little high so that I can just rest here. And then after a few breaths, we can lower down, which some of us will want to do and some of us will not want to do. So hang out where in a comfortable spot for you. Keep these feet flexed to protect the ankles, the Achilles, and the calves. And just rest heavy in this wide straddle. Trying to slow the breath down again once more. Make the breath slow, long, and controlled. And again, something that I love about props and support like this in yoga is just a lesson that having support isn't a sign of weakness. It actually helps us go deeper. It actually helps us be more effective, more healthy. Without support, our nervous system wouldn't necessarily feel the same sense of security and safety. It wouldn't feel protected. So it would be in a defensive place. It would be trying to prevent us from going deeper, trying to hold us up. And instead, with the support, our nervous system really does let us sink into poses and find more flexibility, find more awareness, and more depth. Now's a good time to lower to a new level if you haven't already. If you don't want to lower to a new level, that's totally fine. Just try to feel heavy. And if you can, cultivate a sense of feeling supported by these props, by these cushions and blankets. Feel free to make any adjustments you need. I know we're here for a while. This is a deep stretch, y'all. Maybe you want to go deeper. Maybe you want to add some more pillows to give a little bit of comfort. Because this is a long time. Keep flexing those feet. Keep engaging the hamstrings and the calves. Maybe pressing the legs into the floor. Long inhales, slow, controlled exhales. Feel the hips expand on the inhale and exhale, deflate, melt heavy into the floor. Rolling up when you're ready. Gently bringing the legs back to center. Maybe finding a nice crisscross. And if your crisscross feels a little bit more like this, where your hips are tight, then again, we can take some blankets or pillows and just stuff them under our knees for some support. So here, just taking a little palate cleanser, inhaling to squeeze the shoulders up. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, release. This time, we'll inhale up for 4 counts, hold the breath and squeeze for 4 counts, and exhale, shoulders down for 4 counts. So breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath here, 2, 3, 4, exhale down, 2, 3, 4, inhale up, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath here, 2, 3, 4, exhale down, 2, 3, 4, inhale up, 2, 3, 4, hold the breath, squeeze, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, release. 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, all right. Bringing the feet to press into each other. So finding a butterfly where the bottoms of our feet are pressing into each other. Again, having a little bit of cushion under the knees doesn't hurt. Even though my knees aren't very far off the floor, I'm still using it because I know that it's giving my nervous system more support and that it'll just open up my hips even more. So wiggle the hips just a bit. Maybe roll those shoulders open a few more times. And find a pillow or cushion to just hold in front of your pelvis right here. We'll use it in a sec. This is just for some comfort for now. Giving ourselves a hug, stacking right elbow on top of left. We can stay right here, opening up the outer shoulders and letting the elbows fall heavy. Another option we have is to hook the bottom arm underneath, like so. And then another option we have is to grab our hands or wrists or fingers for a bind. Inhaling, regardless of where we are, inhaling to lift the elbows up. And exhale, let the shoulders sink heavy and press. If we're in this bind, we can press the hands away from the forehead. So inhaling to lift and open. Exhaling to press, release, open. Turning the torso to the right like a twist. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Turning the torso to the left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Gently release. Open wide. Other side. Stacking left on top of right. We can stay right here. This is a great place to be to open up our outer shoulders. Another great place to be is here in this, hooking the bottom arm underneath and opening up just this left shoulder. And if we want, we can take a bind, like so. Inhaling to lift, exhaling shoulders down. If we're in a bind, we can press the hands away from the forehead. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Turning to the left. Twisting as much as we can in our torso. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. And to the right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, open. Gently release, coming back to center. Maybe roll the shoulders open again a few times. Now we have this cushion here, and we're going to use it. We may want even more cushion because we're going to lean forward. So again, some of our hips might not allow us to fold forward very much, so that's okay. Just being able to let your weight go, that's really going to make a huge difference in your hip release. So you can be right here, just like I am, with a cushion or a big stack of pillows to just let your head rest. We want to rest here. So, in many other flows that we teach, we're trying to take on work for our body. We're trying to invite work into our body. And here, I guess it's a little bit more mental. We're inviting mental work to minimize physical work and maximize relaxation work. So, finding a position that works for you. We can also just put the pillow in our lap like so and fold forward. Letting the head feel heavy. Maybe after a few deep breaths, you can go a bit deeper and you want to adjust your pillows, that's fine. Maybe you want to ease up and give yourself some more support. Slow, deep, expansive breaths. Feel the hips expand and inflate on the inhale. Exhale, feel the hips sink heavy, release into the floor. And rolling up. Okay, so not going to change too much, but I will have us take our cushions out and just put them to the side for a moment. And then grabbing our right ankle, our right shin, tucking the arms underneath or the hands or the wrist to squeeze this right shin in towards our chest. So take a moment just to pull it in a bit. Let's open and close this right hip, just like a door opening and closing. And then rocking front to back. Rolling in a circle. Release the right arm to the back right corner. And let's fall back onto the outer right hip. See if you can find a little ball of tension. If you find it, you'll know, because it'll be painful. And once you find it, we can kind of rock and roll it up. So we're doing some fascia release here, kind of releasing any fascia buildup that's holding our muscles together. But then we're also releasing some tension in our piriformis. When that gets inflamed, it can affect and cause lower back pain. It can cause pain in our hip flexors or that sciatic pain of shooting down the outer legs. So this is a great part of our body to work on restoring. I am feeling it in my piriformis and my outer right hip. Keep breathing. So here we're using the floor as support. We're using the earth as support, basically letting the earth give us a massage. And release when you're ready. Feel free to pause and stay here longer. We'll move on to the other side. Hugging the left shin in, tucking the arms underneath, and squeezing this left shin towards our chest to start opening up this left side. Let's open and close like a door. Rocking front to back. And rolling in a circle. Releasing the left arm when you're ready. Roll into that back left corner. To tense. And find that ball of tension. Rock and roll it out. Spread it out. Flatten it out. Release. Love this ball of tension in our outer left hip. Release when you're ready. Whew. And then let's bring the right foot to the outside of the left knee. We can hold on to this right knee for a moment as we sit the right hip down. For some of us, this might be the work of today, getting this right hip down. And some of us may even want to tuck a cushion underneath that right hip. So if you want, put some cushion there. The next work of today, some of us might be focusing on that, and that's totally great. If that feels too intense for you, some modifications are that we can lean back and plant that foot, or we can roll to our backs and hold that left hamstring. So if we are here, we can work on closing knee on top of ankle, ankle on top of knee. Be careful not to let the feet slide in too much. And we can put some cushion here too. So you can have a pillow or some support here. That'll feel really nice. Both feet are flexed and engaged to protect the Achilles and calf. And then from here, we can take a pillow or a stack of pillows in our lap to just lean forward. Again, having support, giving our nervous system lots of sensory input, lots of touch. It's like a hug for our body having these props. And our nervous system senses, there's actually something here. We can actually chill out. We don't have to hold ourselves up. We can release here. We can go deeper. We can be more flexible and mobile because it feels safe. And it is safe. So, releasing heavy, onto some support, breathing deeply. After a few breaths, you may want to go lower. Keep flexing those feet to protect the backs of our legs. Feeling the outer hips expand, inflate on the inhale, exhale, release heavy into the floor, melting on the exhale. And rolling up when you're ready. And let's switch sides. Resting the right shin on the floor here, bringing the left foot to the outside of the right knee. Now, keep in mind this side might feel totally different than the other side. So try it out and see, do we want a cushion underneath the left hip? Do we want any cushion underneath this left knee? Some of us may work on stacking knee on top of ankle, ankle on top of knee. Again, even if we're just right here and we're sitting that hip down into a cushion or a blanket, that's a great place to be. So once we're here, finding the support and cushion we need on this side. And fall in, breathe slow and deep. And really visualize, imagine what your hips look like as they inflate, expand on the inhale. Imagine the breath moving through the body, finding your hips, expanding your hips, and exhale, release heavy into the floor. Really visualize that and feel that sensation. Rolling up when you're ready. And last but certainly not least, perhaps the most important pose of today, we're moving into Shavasana. So for Shavasana, we have some options. If you remember that nice juicy incline we made earlier, you can recreate that for Shavasana. like so. Will you demo this one? And then you can let your legs just flop heavy. Something else we can do is, if we have blankets, some things that I like. One, I love having a blanket under my lower back. You notice Anthony added a little bit of elevation to the knees, which can feel really great. So Anthony's demoing with the incline, which can feel so great for the lower back, middle back, for the whole spine to feel supported and the hips to feel nice and heavy. So I have this blanket under my lower back. I'm also going to take my other blanket and I'm just going to roll up the end so that I have some of a rolled blanket and some regular blanket. I'm going to slide the rolled blanket under my neck, which feels so good. So I have a little bit of blanket under my head, but mostly I have some rolled up blanket under my neck, which is providing some great relief for my neck. And then other things I want to do are bring this bolster under my knees for some more elevation. And I'm going to take my other pillow and put it on my pelvis for a little bit of weight here. Shavasana, finding comfort. Maybe your first arrangement doesn't feel quite right and you want to make some adjustments, go for it. As we settle in here, letting the hips feel heavy, shoulders heavy, ankles heavy. Relax the knees, relax the fingers. We can allow the palms to be face up if we want to cultivate some openness. If we're looking to cultivate some groundedness, maybe putting the palms face down, connecting to the earth. Trying to not do any work. Trying to release every vertebra into the floor. Inhaling to feel weightless, floating, exhaling to feel grounded, sinking, heavy, release. Slow, deep breaths. Savasana, corpse pose. A space for us to check in with our practice. For us just to be in this moment. You don't have to support anyone. Your job is just to be supported. And that might be hard. And so some of the insight we get here might be noticing that it's hard to be supported, that it's hard to slow down, that it's hard to rest, that it's hard to quiet the mind, which I struggle with. So that might be the insight that we find here. We might also find that our mind wanders, which is totally fine. We may want to focus on the breath. I like to remember in Shavasana that I will stand up, bring this practice to a close, and bring the lessons I'm learning here on my yoga mat into my work as an artist, as an educator, as a healer, as an activist. I'm imagining that the banging on our house are just woodpeckers. I don't know if that works for y'all too. really powerful woodpeckers. The earth can hold all of your weight here, so let it go. If you can, if you're ready. If you notice your body doing any work or if you notice any strain, just pause, take some more cushion, take some pillows, and stuff them in that part of your bodies, bringing the earth closer to our body so it can just rest, giving our nervous system the message that we're aware, we're looking out for our body, we're safe and supported right now. We can just release. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Take a deep breath in, let out a sigh of relief. Again, breathing in. One more time, let it all out, y'all. Breathing in. So you might want to stay in Shavasana longer. That's totally fine. You can ignore my directions, or you can just stay here. If you're ready, we can roll over to the right side and curl up in a ball. Actually, you can roll over to whichever side you want and curl up in a ball there. Find a moment of comfort here. And again, stay here as long as you like. But if you feel called to join us, pressing up to a comfortable seat. Maybe resting the hands on the knees, bringing the hands to heart center, or resting the hands over the heartbeats. First, a breath for the ancestors we bring to our practice and for the indigenous people who were here before colonization, breathing in and out. A breath to thank yourself for your practice today, breathing in and out. A breath to appreciate others for their support, breathing in and out. And a breath for the intentions and well-being of everyone in this community we're building together, breathing in and out. The loving human in me bows down to the loving human in you. Namaste. Thank you for getting up to practice with us. It's so nice to have a community. It's nice for me to just be able to have a reason outside of myself to practice yoga. This is so good for my body. And having you all as community with us is just such a nice feeling. I apologize for all the begging. It is a lot. It is a great opportunity to practice focus and a great opportunity to practice avoiding distractions and keeping our eye on the prize. And we are here every morning at 10 a.m. And this is also an opportunity for us not just to practice healing together and liberation together, but also to offer support to others and really activate yoga as an activism and community support space. So we've been collecting donations. Our Venmo is the Glitter Goddesses. Shoot us a DM or a message if you want to mail us a check or cash app us or send a donation in another way, or maybe a trade of some sort, or maybe there are just ways that you know you can support and you want to be connected with folks who need it. We have a list of people who have reached out, queer, trans, POC families who are especially struggling during this global pandemic. So shoot us a message, give us some feedback, let us know what you're loving, let us know what you're looking for in your healing practice, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much. Take care. Sending you lots of love.